Remember that day you opened your refrigerator and discovered your beautiful tomatoes had turned into tasteless mush? You're not alone. Millions of us have been unknowingly sabotaging our food right inside what should be its safest haven. I discovered this the hard way after spending $75 on groceries last month, only to throw away nearly half because they spoiled faster in my refrigerator than they would have on my counter. That's when I realized something wasn't right. What if I told you that your refrigerator, that faithful kitchen companion, might actually be destroying the flavor, texture, and nutrition of many foods you love? It's a shocking truth that changed how I approach food storage forever. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the 10 foods you should never refrigerate and revealing storage secrets that could transform your health. Because let's face it, at our age, every nutrient counts. Studies show we're losing up to 40% of vital nutrients through improper storage, nutrients our bodies desperately need as we age. Are you ready to stop throwing money away and start getting the full nutritional value from every bite you take? Let's unlock these secrets together. Remember those garden tomatoes your neighbors shared last summer? The ones that tasted like pure sunshine? Now think about those pale, mealy supermarket tomatoes that barely have any flavor at all. The difference isn't just where they were grown, it's how they were stored. Here's what happens when you put tomatoes in the refrigerator. That cold air below 55 degrees Fahrenheit slams the brakes on ripening. It's like telling a beautiful symphony to stop mid-performance. The rich harmony of flavors never fully develops. But that's not all. The cold actually ruptures the delicate cell membranes inside. Next time you bite into a refrigerated tomato, notice that grainy, mushy texture and watered-down taste. That's not how tomatoes are supposed to be. What's truly heartbreaking? Those cold-stored tomatoes have lost nearly a third of their lycopene, that powerful antioxidant that helps protect our aging hearts and may even reduce cancer risk. At our age, can we really afford to lose those benefits? Instead, treat your tomatoes like the treasures they are. Keep them stem side down on your counter, away from direct sunlight. They'll reward you with richer flavor and more of those protective nutrients your body craves. My grandmother never refrigerated bread, my friend Martha told me recently. She kept it in a special ceramic box on the counter. Turns out, grandmother knew best all along. When you slide that fresh loaf into the refrigerator, something almost magical, but definitely not wonderful, happens. The cold accelerates a process called staling, where starch molecules rearrange themselves and push out moisture. The result? That dry, tough texture we all dread. Have you noticed how refrigerated bread seems to turn into cardboard overnight? There's a scientific reason. Cold temperatures speed up this staling process 6 times faster than at room temperature. 6 times. All while robbing your bread of its soul, that wonderful aroma and flavor. What's the solution? Embrace the counter for short-term storage up to 4 days in an airtight container. For longer storage, the freezer is actually bread's best friend. Slice before freezing, and you can toast pieces straight from frozen without any quality loss. This simple switch means you'll never again struggle through a sandwich made with bread that feels and tastes like it's been sitting out for days, even when it's fresh from the refrigerator. Open your refrigerator door right now. Do you smell that subtle blend of everything inside? That's exactly what happens to your onions when stored there. They absorb those odors while releasing their own pungent compounds throughout your fridge. Onions are like little sponges in the humid environment of your refrigerator. They soak up moisture, which triggers them to release those eye-watering sulfur compounds. Ever poured a glass of milk that somehow tasted like last night's dinner? Your refrigerated onions might be the culprit. The moisture doesn't just affect flavor, it creates the perfect breeding ground for mold and premature sprouting. Those crisp, firm onions turn soft and spongy within days. What's truly surprising? Properly stored onions can last up to 3 months. Yes, months, while refrigerated ones often begin deteriorating after just 2 weeks. Think about that. Proper storage gives you 6 times longer shelf life. The solution is beautifully simple. Keep onions in a cool, dry place with good air circulation. A basket in your pantry, a mesh bag hanging in a cool corner of your kitchen, or even a repurposed paper egg carton can become the perfect onion home. Make this one change, and you'll enjoy fresher, more flavorful onions while protecting everything else in your refrigerator from becoming onion-scented imposters. There's something deeply satisfying about crushing a clove of fresh garlic and inhaling that powerful, health-giving aroma. But if you've been refrigerating your garlic, you've been missing out on its full potential. Did you know that cold temperatures actually suppress the formation of allicin, the very compound responsible for garlic's most potent health benefits? This remarkable substance, which may help lower cholesterol and blood pressure, concerns many of us share begins to diminish in the cold. I couldn't figure out why my garlic bread didn't have that wonderful punch anymore, my cooking class partner confessed last month. Turns out I'd been refrigerating my garlic for years. After switching to counter storage, her family noticed the difference immediately. Beyond losing its medicinal properties, refrigerated garlic often becomes rubbery and develops unpleasant sprouts. It's harder to peel, more difficult to chop, and frankly, a shadow of what garlic should be. The solution couldn't be simpler. Store your garlic in a breathable container at room temperature. A ceramic garlic keeper with ventilation holes is ideal, but even a paper bag with a few punched holes works beautifully. Your reward? Garlic that stays fresh for months while retaining all those wonderful health-promoting compounds. Your heart and your taste buds will thank you for the simple change. Have you ever wondered why those French fries turn dark so quickly sometimes? Or why roasted potatoes occasionally taste oddly sweet? The culprit might be lurking in your refrigerator. When potatoes get cold, below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, they undergo a remarkable transformation. Sensing the cold, they convert their starch into sugar as a natural antifreeze mechanism. It's a brilliant survival strategy for the potato, but terrible news for your dinner plate. This sugar conversion creates two serious problems. First, your potatoes develop an unpleasantly sweet flavor and gritty texture. Second, and far more concerning, these sugar-laden potatoes produce higher levels of acrylamide when cooked at high temperatures. That's a compound health authorities have flagged for its potential cancer risk. I always thought brown spots on my fries were just from old potatoes, a neighbor recently told me. I had no idea refrigeration was causing it. Like many of us, she'd been trying to extend their shelf life, not realizing she was compromising both flavor and safety. The solution is wonderfully old-fashioned. Store potatoes in a cool, dark place. 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal, in a paper bag or cardboard box with ventilation holes. A cabinet away from the stove, a basement shelf, or even a dedicated potato storage bin works beautifully. Make this change, and you'll immediately notice potatoes that taste the way they should, earthy and satisfying, not oddly sweet, while potentially reducing exposure to unwanted compounds. For many of us, that first morning cup of coffee is sacred, a ritual that sets the tone for the entire day. So why would we compromise something so important? Yet that's exactly what happens when coffee goes into the refrigerator. Coffee beans and grounds are remarkably porous, so much so that they're sometimes used as odor absorbers. In your refrigerator, they're silently soaking up every aroma from last night's leftovers to that half-cut onion. I couldn't figure out why my coffee suddenly tasted off, a friend confided during our weekly walk. It had these strange undertones I couldn't identify. After moving her coffee to an airtight container in the pantry, that pure coffee flavor returned immediately. The damage goes beyond just odd flavors. The condensation that occurs when you take coffee in and out of the refrigerator degrades the essential oils that give coffee its complex, rich taste profile. Research shows refrigerated coffee can lose up to 70% of its aromatic compounds in just 1 week. Instead, store coffee in an opaque, airtight container at room temperature, away from light and heat. If you buy in bulk, keep what you'll use within 2 weeks in your container and freeze the rest in an airtight package. This simple change means your morning ritual will deliver all the comfort and flavor you deserve, without any unwelcome surprises from refrigerator odors. There's something almost magical about honey, the only food that never spoils. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that was still perfectly edible. With such impressive natural preservation powers, why would honey need refrigeration? The truth is, it doesn't, and cold temperatures actually transform honey in ways that make it less enjoyable to use. When honey gets cold, its natural crystallization process accelerates dramatically. While crystallized honey is perfectly safe, it becomes thick, cloudy, and difficult to pour or spread. I thought my honey had gone bad when it got all cloudy and hard, admitted a friend during our garden club meeting. I threw out 3 jars before someone told me it was still perfectly good. Like many of us, she'd been taught that refrigeration extends the life of most foods, not realizing that honey is a remarkable exception. The solution is beautifully simple. Store honey at room temperature in its original container or a clean glass jar with a tight-fitting lid. If it does crystallize, simply place the jar in warm water for a few minutes to restore its liquid gold appearance. This change not only preserves honey's flowing texture, but honors one of nature's most perfect foods, one that has sustained humans for thousands of years without any need for modern refrigeration. Have you noticed how olive oil sometimes develops white clouds or even solidifies in your refrigerator? That's not spoilage, it's what happens when the natural fats in olive oil get cold. When olive oil chills below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, it begins to solidify and become cloudy. While this doesn't permanently damage the oil, it creates practical problems. You need to wait for it to warm up before it flows properly again, and more importantly, these temperature fluctuations can degrade the delicate flavor compounds that make good olive oil so special. I couldn't figure out why my expensive olive oil didn't taste as vibrant anymore, a cooking class friend shared recently. Turns out, refrigerating and then warming it repeatedly was breaking down those precious flavor compounds. What's more concerning is that these temperature swings can also diminish the heart-healthy polyphenol that make olive oil such a valuable part of our diets, especially important for those of us watching our cardiovascular health. The solution is simple elegance. Store olive oil in a dark glass bottle in a cool cabinet away from the stove. Protected from heat, light, and temperature fluctuations, good quality olive oil can maintain its flavor and health benefits for up to 2 years. This small change preserves not just the practical usability of your olive oil, but all those wonderful compounds that help keep our aging hearts and brains functioning at their best. Have you ever put bananas in the refrigerator hoping to extend their life, only to find them turning an unappetizing black? There's a fascinating reason behind this transformation. Cold temperatures below 58 degrees Fahrenheit create a form of chilling injury in bananas. The cold damages the cell walls of the peel, causing it to rapidly turn black. But here's the strange part. While the outside blackens quickly, the inside stops ripening. The result? A bizarre disconnect, a black peel suggesting overripeness, but a firm, starchy interior that never fully develops its sweetness. I thought refrigerating would keep them fresh longer, a neighbor admitted during our community potluck. Instead, they looked terrible on the outside, but tasted underripe inside. Like many of us, she was trying to prevent waste, not realizing she was actually compromising quality. Even more concerning, this cold storage reduces vitamin C and antioxidant levels by up to 40%, nutrients particularly important as we age. For bananas, refrigeration truly offers the worst of both worlds, unappealing appearance and diminished nutrition. Instead, store bananas at room temperature, ideally hanging them to prevent bruising. If they're ripening faster than you can eat them, that's when freezing becomes your friend. Peel them first, then freeze for smoothies or baking. This simple change ensures you'll enjoy bananas at their sweet, nutritious best, with no unpleasant surprises when you peel them. There's nothing quite like biting into a perfectly ripe, sweet melon on a summer day. But if you've been refrigerating your whole melons before cutting them, you've been missing out on their full potential. When melons, whether watermelon, cantaloupe, or honeydew, are allowed to ripen at room temperature, something remarkable happens. They continue developing their network of antioxidants, particularly the carotenoids that give them their vibrant colors and help protect our aging eyes and immune systems. I always thought melons should go straight into the refrigerator, a friend confessed during our weekly farmers market visit. Then I noticed the vendor keeping them all at room temperature and asked why. The answer transformed her melon experience and can transform yours too. Refrigerating uncut melons doesn't just halt their beneficial ripening process, it actually damages their delicate cell structure. The result is that disappointing mealy texture and diminished sweetness we've all experienced at one time or another. The solution follows nature's wisdom. Store whole melons at room temperature until they're fully ripe, which you can determine by their sweet aroma and slight give when pressed at the stem end. Only after cutting should they go into the refrigerator, wrapped tightly to preserve moisture. This simple change can increase the beta-carotene content of your melons by up to 40%, a significant boost to their nutritional value and a boon for your aging body's defenses. Let me take you on a journey through the hidden danger zones lurking in your refrigerator, areas where even properly refrigerated foods might be at risk. Picture opening your refrigerator door and seeing shelves packed so tightly that items are touching the back wall and stacked precariously on top of each other. You might think you're maximizing space, but you're actually creating the first danger zone, the overcrowded refrigerator. When cold air can't circulate properly, warm pockets develop, sometimes as much as 10 degrees warmer than they should be. In these invisible warm spots, bacteria multiply much faster, potentially leading to foodborne illness, something our aging immune systems are less equipped to fight. Then there's the refrigerator door, where many of us store milk and eggs. Every time that door swings open, these foods experience temperature fluctuations. Over time, this can degrade quality and safety, especially for highly perishable dairy products. I couldn't figure out why my milk was spoiling before the date, a neighbor shared during our community health workshop. Then I learned the door was the worst possible place for it. Moving her milk to the middle shelf extended its freshness by nearly a week. The produce drawer presents another hidden challenge. Those humidity controls aren't just decorative, they serve a crucial purpose. Leafy greens need high humidity to stay crisp, while fruits generally need lower humidity to prevent mold growth. Using these settings incorrectly can cut the life of your produce in half. Recognizing and addressing these danger zones doesn't just extend food life, it could help protect your health as you age. Imagine opening your refrigerator to find everything you need within easy reach. No bending, no searching, no forgotten items hiding until they spoil. This isn't just convenient, it's a system that can genuinely improve your nutrition and health. Let's reimagine your refrigerator as 3 distinct zones, each with a specific purpose tailored to your needs as you age. Your top shelf becomes your ready zone, home to foods that require no preparation. Fresh fruit washed and ready to eat. Yogurt, cheese sticks, hummus with pre-cut vegetables, foods that make healthy snacking as easy as opening the refrigerator door. When nutritious options are the first things you see, you're naturally drawn to them. I never realized how much my eating habits improved once I could actually see all my healthy options, shared a participant in our senior nutrition workshop. Before, I'd just grab whatever was easiest to reach, usually not the healthiest choice. The middle shelf becomes your everyday zone for items you use regularly: milk, eggs, cheese, and leftovers in clear containers so you can see what's inside without opening each one. A lazy Susan here works wonders for bringing items from the back into easy reach. Your bottom shelf transforms into the safety zone for raw meats and fish, safely contained to prevent cross-contamination. This isn't just organization, it's protection against foodborne illness that becomes more dangerous as we age. This thoughtful arrangement doesn't just make your life easier. Research shows it can increase the variety of foods you eat by nearly a third, directly supporting better nutrition when your body needs it most. Your freezer might be the most underutilized health tool in your home. When used strategically, it can reduce food waste, save money, and ensure you always have nutritious options available, even when shopping or cooking becomes challenging. The secret lies in thinking differently about how you freeze foods. Instead of storing large containers of leftovers that require thawing the entire amount, embrace portion-controlled freezing. That pot of homemade soup? Freeze it in single-serving containers or muffin tins, then transfer to labeled bags for grab-and-go meals. I used to avoid cooking certain dishes because it was too much for just me, confided a widowed friend at our community center lunch. Now I make full recipes and freeze individual portions. I have variety without waste, and cooking feels worthwhile again. Create a freezer filing system using vertical storage for maximum visibility. Freeze soups and sauces flat in zip-top bags, then stand them up like books on a shelf once frozen. You'll fit more in your freezer while being able to see every item at a glance. Develop a labeling system that works for your eyes. Use large print labels with contrasting colors, perhaps blue for proteins, green for vegetables, and red for complete meals. Include not just the contents, but the date frozen and use by date in clear, readable text. These freezer strategies don't just organize your food, they can transform how you eat when cooking feels challenging, ensuring nutrition doesn't suffer on difficult days. Have you ever noticed how opening a cluttered, disorganized refrigerator can instantly drain your energy and motivation to cook? Or how a well-organized one with fresh, colorful foods can lift your spirits? This connection between your refrigerator and your emotional well-being runs deeper than you might think. Your refrigerator isn't just a storage appliance. It's a daily touchpoint that can either add stress or create moments of satisfaction in your life. When we open that door multiple times daily, what we see affects us on an emotional level. I never connected my refrigerator to my mood until I cleaned it out completely one day, shared a participant in our senior wellness group. The sense of accomplishment was surprising, and I noticed I actually wanted to cook that night instead of ordering takeout. Consider creating what I call a joy shelf in your refrigerator, a designated area for foods that bring you both pleasure and nourishment. Perhaps it's perfectly ripe seasonal fruit, a special cheese, or homemade pickles that remind you of childhood. This small dedicated space turns healthy eating from obligation into pleasure. Establish simple rituals around your refrigerator that bring mindfulness to your day. Maybe it's selecting a colorful vegetable each morning to incorporate into lunch, or preparing tomorrow's breakfast before bed. These small acts of self-care create structure and purpose, particularly important if you're living alone. When you open your refrigerator, take just a moment to appreciate the nourishing foods inside and your ability to feed yourself well. This brief practice of gratitude can transform a mundane action into a moment of reflection that reduces stress hormones by nearly 30%, a significant benefit for your aging body and mind. Your refrigerator isn't just about food preservation. It's about preserving your independence, health, and joy in daily living. We've journeyed together through the surprising world of food storage, discovering how something as simple as where we keep our tomatoes or bread can dramatically impact both flavor and nutrition. Who would have thought that the humble refrigerator could be both friend and foe to our health? The wisdom we've uncovered today isn't new, it's actually quite old. Our grandparents and great-grandparents understood these principles intuitively. Storing foods according to nature's design rather than assuming colder is always better. As we age, every nutrient becomes increasingly precious. The 40% of nutritional value we might be losing through improper storage represents vitamins and minerals our bodies need to maintain strength, cognitive function, and immune response. By making these simple changes, you're not just preserving food, you're preserving your health and independence. I encourage you to start small. Choose just one food from our list, perhaps tomatoes or bread, and change how you store it this week. Notice the difference in flavor, texture, and how long it truly lasts. Take before and after pictures of your refrigerator as you implement these changes and share your journey with friends or family. Remember, organizing your food environment isn't just about aesthetics. It's about creating a system that supports your health goals and makes daily life more enjoyable. A well organized refrigerator and proper food storage can be your partners in aging well, eating well, and living fully. Next week, we'll build on today's foundation with 5 easy-to-prepare meals using properly stored foods perfect for those days when energy is low but nutrition remains essential. Until then, I'd love to hear about your food storage discoveries. Which food will you start storing differently today? The journey to better health often begins with the smallest changes, even something as simple as taking your tomatoes out of the refrigerator.